Do you need a great marketing tool to advertise your business or event? Then use Ottumwa Coasters. Get your business or event on drink coasters featured in Ottumwa's most popular restaurants. It's the most fun and effective way to reach the community. Starting at just $199, you get 1,000 coasters delivered to Ottumwa's most popular restaurants. Look for Ottumwa Coasters on Facebook or call or text 573-932-0111. Sigourney Keota football fans, Steve Shuttler Media is teaming up with Clint Dye of Tag Team Photography to bring you coverage of Sigourney Keota football this fall. You've seen Clint's fantastic photos of Sigourney Keota football over the last few years, and now Clint is bringing those talents to be showcased on Steve Shuttler Media. We're going to have pictures and action shots of each and every game, an in-depth article, and a video highlight of the game as well. You won't miss a thing with Sigourney Keota football coverage right here this year on Steve Shuttler Media. Central Empire Wrestling presents Bridge City Slam 6 live Saturday, September 7th at the Bridgeview Center in Ottumwa. Come see Jake the Snake Roberts, Buff Bagwell, former WWE Tag Team Champions Demolition, Real One Enzo Amore, The Powers of Pain, The Boogeyman, Snitsky, Jordan Grace, Cameron Brennan, and the stars of CEW. Tickets start at just $20 and include the Fan Fest from 4 to 7 p.m. Get your tickets through Ticketmaster or at the Bridgeview Center in Ottumwa. It's Bridge City Slam 6, live Saturday, September 7th at the Bridgeview Center in Ottumwa. The Keokuk County Sheriff's Office is taking applications for a full-time jailer dispatcher. The position requires a high school diploma or equivalent. Applications for employment can be picked up at the Keokuk County Sheriff's Office anytime, or go online at www.keokukcounty.iowa.gov and download an application form. The full-time position will include Keokuk County's benefit package. Starting wage is $23 per hour and could be higher depending on experience. Application deadline is Friday, August 30th at 4 p.m. or until filled. Keokuk County is an equal opportunity employer.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the thousands listening locally and the millions listening around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to Shuttler!
Hello. Monday rolls around. It is time for the morning wake up here on Steve Shuttler Media. How you doing? Hope you're off to a great start on this Monday. Our morning wake up brought to us by Ottumwa Coasters. Get your business or event on a drink coaster featured in Ottumwa's most popular restaurants. It's a fun, effective way to reach the community. Do it. Follow Ottumwa Coasters on Facebook or give Elizabeth a call and she'll get you hooked up with that great deal for some coasters. 573-932-0111. We thank Ottumwa Coasters. We thank Oski Dental, sponsoring the Oski Dental Studios. Get your appointment scheduled with Dr. Dan Schuster at 641-673-4845. They're accepting new patients. They're going to file your insurance forms for you. They're a Delta dental provider, and they're located at 902 South 17th Street, Oskaloosa. Oski Dental sponsoring our studios. Let's jump into our forecast, as it's a hot one. Woo! Man, just crazy hot for the end of August. You know, this has been a really nice month for August in Iowa. We've been in the 70s, into the 80s a little bit, but man, 97 for the high today. Our weather brought to us by the Garden Gate at 105 South Jefferson Street in Sigourney. Excessive heat warning today at 11 a.m. goes till 8 p.m. Tomorrow, they're already saying excessive heat watch tomorrow from 11 to 8. So it's just hot next couple of days. Sunny and hot, 97 for the high heat index. Going to feel about 111 today. That's crazy. Tonight, clear, a low of 74. Tomorrow, hot again. 20% chance of some afternoon showers and storms. Sunny and 94 for the high. Tuesday night, slight chance of some rain, low of 69. Wednesday, mostly sunny and 88, so a little bit more reasonable on Wednesday, but still on the warm side. So again, excessive heat warning. That's a warning starting at 11 a.m. today. Do take precautions. Stay inside if you can. If you have to be outside doing any sort of work, make sure you drink plenty of water, fluids, and try to stay healthy and safe in these hot conditions for the next couple of days. Let's see here. Let's do our this or that for today. It's brought to us by Stacy Flynn at the Legacy Insurance Group and Welcome Realty in Sigourney. Interesting one today. This is horseback riding. That is four-wheeler riding. What do you think? I don't know on this one. I don't really do either. So I'm good with either one, I guess, since I'm unfamiliar with both. So horseback or four-wheeler, this or that. Make sure you comment on that. Goes up every weekday at 6 a.m. Our question of the day coming up at noon today, since this is the big week for football, especially high school. I know a few 8-man teams kicked off their season this past Friday night. And, of course, we have the Pekin scrimmage live on Steve Shuttler Media on Friday night. But this is the big week. This is when the majority of the teams start going in high school and, of course, college. Hawkeyes will be in action this Saturday. And what are mandatory food items at a tailgate party? What do you think? You know, you got all the normal stuff. You got brats and beer and hamburgers and maybe some nachos and dip and all sorts of stuff. So what are mandatory food items at a tailgate party? That's brought to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa, located at 202 North Main in Sigourney. Look for that question of the day. Yesterday, we put up our weekly top 20. Anthony Schilling, he's the man, as I said in the Facebook post yesterday. It's Anthony Schilling's world. We're just living in it. 6 weeks in a row. And nobody is going to, it looks like nobody's even going to take him down. Nobody's even close. Nobody's even trying anymore. Remember when Alan Sellers, Bruce Hahn, and Bruce Beinart, and Dan Adams, and everybody's just kind of falling way down. Alan and Bruce Hahn aren't even on the list anymore this week. So we need to get those guys back involved and try to take down Mr. Schilling. So our weekly top 20 here on Steve Shuttler Media. Appreciate everybody's likes, comments, and shares. Let's take a look. You know, we crowned our champion, our athlete of the year, on Friday. It was close, heck of a battle. Last I checked, there were over 1,300 votes that were cast on this individual matchup. I mean, we had thousands of votes cast over the 3-week tournament. And Addison Adam of Cardinal Track was crowned our Athlete of the Year, sponsored by Keokuk County Hospital and Clinics and by Kelly Style State Farm. So congratulations, Addison Adam, our Athlete of the Year. What an honor for her. She wins the championship belt. Now, we haven't seen Addison in person to get her belt yet. In fact, she is scheduled to be our halftime host coming up this Friday, as Cardinal will be at Pekin. And, of course, we'll have that game for you live here on Steve Shetler Media. Addison, being a Cardinal girl, going to be at the game, and she's going to join us at halftime, and we'll present her with her championship belt. So you might want to tune into Cardinal Pekin football this Friday at halftime just to see that, the presentation of the belt to Addison Adam. We'll chat with Addison and get her thoughts on winning the tournament. So congratulations to Addison Adam, getting by Nat Linder of North Mahaska in the finals. Heck of a tournament all the way around. All those great athletes from this past year duking it out. Addison comes out on top, and she is our Athlete of the Year. So, congratulations to her. Of course, we're going to be starting up our Athlete of the Week again at the end of this week. For going into next week, we'll have football and volleyball getting going really hot and heavy this week. So, congratulations to Addison. And we'll start off the 24-25 year for the Athlete of the Week, and then eventually the Athlete of the Year. Let's see here. Coming up this week here on Steve Shetler Media. It's a big week. There's the fellas. We got Tyler Richton. I know Tyler and Kale, who is right over Tyler's shoulder there, are going to be coming to Barnwired in Sigourney this Friday for our Iowa Music Showcase. It's the Iowa Music Showcase, and we're going to be celebrating my 1-year anniversary as Steve Shetler Media. We're going to have cake. We're going to have a prize wheel. Lots of prizes. I believe somebody's going to win a free lunch. So we're going to make a big deal out of this. So make sure you come to Barnwired in Sigourney on Friday, 11:30 to noon. I believe the cake and the prizes will start that at noon. It's a great reason to come to Barnwired, and appreciate everybody for being part of the first year of Steve Shetler Media. Appreciate Tyler Richton and the High Bank boys for all their support in my endeavor, and they'll be hanging out with me on Friday at Barnwired in Sigourney. Coming up on Saturday, of course, we will have the sports section. We will be live from Brothers Market in Sigourney, and of course, we'll be talking football. Andy McGuire going to be stepping into the full-time hosting duties for the fall season. We'll be talking lots of football as Clint Weber, Coach Clint Weber of the Pekin Panthers, will be hanging out with us on Saturday morning at Brothers Market. He'll be hanging out every Saturday morning at Brothers Market talking Pekin football. We'll have, of course, Sigourney Keota coach Jared Jensen every Saturday morning during the football season. And I've sent out an invite to all of our area schools to be part of these sports sections. So if you're a volleyball or a football coach or maybe some cross country and you want to be part of the show on Saturday mornings, let's make it happen. Let's get you area coaches in and athletes in, and let's talk some area sports. Let's make this, it doesn't just have to be Sigourney and Sigourney Keota and Pekin. It can be all of our area schools. So we want to get everybody involved. So don't be afraid to reach out and get your coach and your athletes here on the sports section Saturday mornings live at Brothers Market in Sigourney. Then coming up on this Tuesday night, tomorrow night, we've got Figure 8 Racing taking the headlines for the Tuesday night tune-up. TNT live at Smoky Row in Oskaloosa, doing TNT through the end of October. Your host is, of course, Safe Grafke. I believe Curtis Vanderwall is actually going to be hanging out with us as co-host on Tuesday night. First time we've seen Curtis in a while. His work schedule for his real job has been keeping him busy. So we'll have Safe and Curtis. And, again, we're talking Figure 8. You can see Krista Sellers standing on top of her truck there. We've got Dave Sellers, Krista Sellers, and Mark Schuring coming up on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, live at Smoky Row in Oskaloosa. Watch it here on Steve Shetler Media, Facebook, YouTube. Or, if you want to hang out with us at Smoky Row, you can do that too. Again, Krista, you can see her there. She'll probably be the featured guest. We've got Dave, Krista, and Mark coming up Tuesday night at Smoky Row in Oskaloosa for TNT. Going to be a lot of fun. Let's take a look at some stuff coming up on our community calendar. Let's see here. This is going on in New Sharon. Glory Days. Join us for a small group Bible study, video, and discussion. Glory Days, that's at the McVeigh Family Center on Wednesday, September 4th is when that starts. That's in the afternoon, so check that out going on in New Sharon. Going on with the Heartland Humane Society in Ottumwa is the dog wash, free will donations to help the Heartland Humane Society get kennels and other supplies. That comes up on September 14th. Of course, the Heartland Humane Society is literally overflowing with dogs and cats right now. I mean, they desperately need some people to either use as foster homes or to adopt the animals. But they've got cats and dogs literally bursting at the seams of the Heartland Humane Society. So any way you can help them out would be much appreciated. Also on our community calendar coming up on Saturday, September 7th, is Delta Days in Delta, Iowa. That's Saturday and Sunday, September 7th and September 8th. Of course, they've always got a full schedule of events, so check that out. Delta Days coming up here in just a couple of weeks. What else do we have? I believe that's most everything. Should we do our birthdays? Let's do our birthdays. Happy birthday. Happy birthday! All right, birthdays for today. Celebrity and hometown birthdays brought to us by Nikki Leathers at Hometown Real Estate, 641-295-4142, hometown-re.com. On the hometown side, local and area birthdays, we've got softball player extraordinaire. She just moved up to UNI to play some softball for the Northern Iowa Panthers. Carly Goodwin with a birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Carly. Hope you're having a great start to your college career. Other hometown birthdays, Laura Farmer with a birthday. We've got Julie Tremmel, the recently retired Julie Tremmel with a birthday today. Peyton Fowler, as you can see, it's his 21st birthday. Happy birthday to you, Peyton. We've got Daniel Yonke with a birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Daniel. And then Briar Wayne Schilling has a birthday today. So happy birthday to Briar. Happy birthday to all those folks. Again, if you do have a local or area birthday, you can email that to me. Get your name on the list, steveshuttlermedia@gmail.com, and I would gladly announce and celebrate your birthday here on Steve Shuttler Media. Celebrity side of things, we've got late night saxophone player Branford Marsalis turning 64 years old. We've got Corky from Life Goes On, the TV show from back in the 80s. I don't know, was it in the 90s too? I can't remember. His name is Chris Burke. You know him as Corky. 59 years old. Happy birthday to Chris. Melissa McCarthy, funny girl, actress, 54. Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone, 44 years old. Chris Pine, the actor, is 44, and James Harden from basketball is 35. Those are your celebrity and hometown birthdays brought to us by Hometown Real Estate here on Steve Shuttler Media. All right, a good morning to you. Thanks for hanging out with me on this Monday morning. Let's see who's in the comments already. Of course, Bubby kicked us off this morning. Happy Monday, we'll say to you, Bubby. We've got Sandy, we've got Dan, Jackie, Sherry, Cindy, Eloise, Sherry, and Kim. Everybody hanging out on a Monday. Appreciate you guys. And what are we doing? I'm lost. I got lost in my thoughts and my feelings for today. It is August 26th, last week of August. On this date in history, it was on this date in 55 AD, Roman forces under Julius Caesar invaded Britain on this date. It was 1907 on this date. Magician Harry Houdini escaped from a 75-pound ball and chain while underwater at San Francisco's Aquatic Park. He did it in 57 seconds. Houdini. It was on this date in 1946, a young lady named Norma Jean Baker signed a contract with 20th Century Fox. Of course, she went on to be Marilyn Monroe, 1946. And on this date in 1953, the radio program War of the Worlds was released. Scared people like crazy. People were listening on the radio. It was a theatrical radio program. They didn't realize that it was just radio theater, and they thought it was real. A lot of people did. And look it up on YouTube. You can find the War of the Worlds, the original radio War of the Worlds on YouTube. Give it a listen. I mean, it's classic. You gotta check that out, 1953. Today on the National Day calendar, it's National Got Checked Day. Don't know what that means. It's National Cherry Popsicle Day. I mean, red popsicles are the best popsicles. We all know that, right? Well, today we're celebrating that. It's National Women's Equality Day. And it's National Dog Day. I gotta get some of my dogs in here. Stella and Hank and Daisy. So celebrate your dogs today, National Dog Day. All right. Before we go any further, let's see. I'm trying to make something happen here with my commercials. I'm going to see if it's going to work correctly. If not, we'll see you right after this break. Do you need a great marketing tool to advertise your business or event? Then use Ottumwa Coasters. Get your business or event on drink coasters featured in Ottumwa's most popular restaurants. It's the most fun and effective way to reach the community. Starting at just $199, you get 1,000 coasters delivered to Ottumwa's most popular restaurants. Look for Ottumwa Coasters on Facebook or call or text 573-932-0111. Sigourney Kyoto
Iowa St. Croix Rosé from Tassel Ridge Winery is a dry rosé with strawberry, raspberry, peach, and nectarine notes and a slightly drying finish. This wine will complement Asian stir-fry, Mexican dishes, and summer grilling events. It's made entirely from St. Croix grapes grown in our Mahaska County vineyards and is best when served chilled. Iowa St. Croix Rosé is available at Tassel Ridge Winery and a growing number of our nearly 400 retailers in Iowa. If you don't see it at your favorite store, ask the manager to get it for you. Check the QR code to go directly to our website for a list of retailers. Tassel Ridge Winery is located in Lyden on Highway 163 between Pella and Oskaloosa and is open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday from 9 to 6, Saturday from 10 to 6, and Sunday from noon to 6. Check our website at tasselridge.com.
Jeremy Empey Web Design, designing since 1999. Graphic design, website maintenance, and more. Web solutions for any size project, serving Oskaloosa and beyond. Jeremy Empey Web Design has web solutions for any size project. He can breathe life into your website, and he'll help you out with fast support. Web hosting, web development, and website maintenance. Whatever you need, Jeremy Empey Web Design can help you out. Call Jeremy at 641-295-4844 or get more information at jeremyempey.com.
Life's better when you're under our roof. Because when you feel totally protected, your family's free to enjoy their dreams.
Try it again. You're getting the hang of this. Good job.
American Family Insurance.
Contact Christy Tarr in Oskaloosa at 641-673-8965. Watch Pekin Panther football live right here this fall on Steve Shetler Media, Facebook, and YouTube with live announcers and an updated scoreboard, plus an area scoreboard to keep you updated on other schools of interest. It's Pekin Panther football live right here on Steve Shetler Media starting Friday, August 30th. Heck yeah, we got some football coming up on Friday night, and those are your announcers for our season. Josh Clubb on play-by-play, Zach Wise on color commentary. We'll have Pekin Panther football live video streaming all season long here on Steve Shetler Media. Make sure you tune in this coming Friday night. Cardinal will be at Pekin. All right, we do appreciate you guys hanging out here on Steve Shetler Media on a Monday morning. And let's go ahead and do some things you need to know. Whoa. All right, some things you need to know. Sad news, Roger Cook, the longtime landscape contractor on PBS Home Improvement series This Old House, has died after a long battle with illness. He was 70 years old, Roger Cook. Major League Baseball, something very, very interesting is going to happen today. Danny Jansen will make a Major League Baseball historic moment today by playing for two teams on the same day. It's going to happen. Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Boston Red Sox at Fenway. Now, there's a regular scheduled game going on, but there's also going to be a makeup game. In that makeup game, back when the original game was being played, Danny Jansen was in the middle of an at-bat as a Toronto Blue Jay. Now, then he was traded to the Red Sox, so he's actually going to be appearing on both rosters on the same day. Isn't that weird? That's crazy. So Danny Jansen making MLB history today. There is a new COVID vaccine. What is this? Like the 25th COVID vaccine on the way next month? The government will resume its free test kits program. So, yeah, make sure you go out and get jabbed again and again and again and again and again. By the way, Dr. Anthony Fauci, who made everybody wear masks and the vaccines, and he was hospitalized with the West Nile virus earlier this month. He must not have been wearing his mask anymore. Recovering at home, Dr. Anthony Fauci. A nightmare for a Hollister, California family out to dinner recently when their 2-year-old daughter started behaving strangely. The reason why is because she was intoxicated, a 2-year-old. They went to the hospital, found out that instead of apple juice that they thought the 2-year-old was drinking, the restaurant had served her alcoholic apple juice. Hope she's okay. Weather forecasters are watching Hawaii as 2 potential storms heading that way for Hawaii. More baseball news, movie news. The historic baseball field featured in the 1992 movie A League of Their Own was destroyed in an overnight fire last week. The J. Littleton Ballpark in Ontario, California, built back in the 1930s, couldn't be saved. It was engulfed in flames just before midnight on Thursday. More nature. A volcano in southwestern Iceland has erupted for the 6th time since December. So that volcano in Iceland kind of angry right now. And then also beginning next year, Uber is going to be giving you the option of hiring a car with or without a driver. That should be a this or that. I need to have Stacy Flynn come up with that one. This or that. With a driver or without a driver for Uber. What would you prefer? I'd stick with a real person, please. And then finally today, in things you need to know, in the city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, you're going to get a chance to vote for Vic for mayor. That's V-I-C, Vic. If you do, you'll be electing an AI robot, basically, to run the city. Again, this is Cheyenne, Wyoming. A guy named Victor Miller is behind the idea and says he'll let artificial intelligence decide what is best for the city. That's terrifying. Terminator running a city in Cheyenne, Wyoming. That is a possibility. We'll see if Vic gets elected. Let's go. If this wasn't weird enough, let's go to the weird.
That is weird.
In some weird news, a local apartment complex, where are we at here? I believe in California? Texas, actually. Let's go to Texas. Phew. A local apartment complex in Texas says, you better pay up before you die. It sent a bill to the family of one of its former tenants, charging her for breaking her lease because she was dead. She wasn't paying. The women's children received a bill from the apartment complex for over $15,000 and a collection notice, despite a Texas law that says family members can cancel a lease if a loved one passes away. As the 91-year-old Sandra Bonilla died in late June and was buried next to her husband. She had lived in this apartment complex for around 10 years, and now they're wanting nearly $16,000 on collection and a lease because she died. We'll see how that turns out. Other stuff in weird news today, more legal lawsuits. A woman who faced eviction, not because she was dead, but because of complaints about noise coming from her apartment. She had three emotional support parrots. A woman facing eviction with those 3 parrots has been awarded enough money to buy plenty of crackers for her parrots. Now, we've got an African gray parrot, Buzz, here at the Shetler household. Buzz makes plenty of noise by himself. I can only imagine how much noise 3 parrots can make in one apartment. As the Rutherford, a cooperative apartment building in Manhattan, has agreed to pay $165,000 to Merrill Lesser in what the Justice Department says is the largest settlement of its kind. Lesser moved in to this apartment complex, let's see here, with a couple of parrots back in 1999, and there were no complaints until March of 2015, 5 months after she had brought a 3rd parrot into the apartment. The New York City Department of Environmental Protection visited the building 15 times in the year after the neighbor's complaint and found no violations. Now, the co-op, quote, never conducted any decibel testing or other objective evaluation of the alleged noise complaints, says the Rutherford never retained the services of a noise prevention consultant, architect, engineer, or anyone with qualifications or experiencing in soundproofing to address the neighbor's complaints. So this woman getting a bunch of money, people complaining, 3 parrots squawking. All right. Let's move on into some other weird. I think this will be our last weird news story of the day. A Connecticut woman, Connecticut, say Connecticut 3 times really fast. A woman in Connecticut earned 2 Guinness World Records by covering 99.98% of her body in tattoos and having 89 body modifications. So this, if you would look at her, I would assume she would look kind of strange. Esperance Luminesca Fuerzina, 36 years old, of Bridgeport, Connecticut, was awarded the record for the most tattooed person and the most body modifications for a female. Fuerzina has 40 more body modifications than the previous record holder. She says she got her first tattoo, which has since been covered up with other tattoos, about 15 years ago. As for her first body modification, it was a split tongue. She split her tongue 10 years ago. Other body modifications include several body piercings, as well as tissue stretching mods and tattoos on her eyeballs gums. I don't know what that means exactly, but okay. Shall we move on? Let's move on. Let's do the files of law and disorder. In some disorder, methamphetamine will make you do some crazy things. Meth wrapped in plastic and painted like watermelons to deceive was interrupted at the border. So again, you had people with meth wrapped up in plastic that was painted like watermelons trying to get it into the United States. Was stopped at the border. The thing is, it probably took a lot of time to paint the drug packages. They tried their best, but it wasn't good enough. The results were not that great. As a result, U.S. border agents intercepted more than $5 million worth of methamphetamine at the U.S.-Mexican border, reports the BBC. So if you're going to bring meth into the U.S., you better do better than painting plastic packages like watermelons. Come on, man. You got to do better than that. Shall we go to something to make you smile?
Something that makes you smile.
Something to make you smile, always brought to us by our friends at Lifetime Dental Solutions, and they are located at their new location at 115 South Jefferson Street in Sigourney. Give them a call, schedule your appointment, 641-622-2669. Check out their new facilities, Lifetime Dental Solutions and Dr. Stacy Freeze. And in something to make you smile today, let's see here. Let's go back to Connecticut. The owner of a Connecticut farm said that 3 bison that escaped earlier this week actually came back to the farm on their own with a 4th bison in tow. Amanda Maresca, whose family owns the 3B Ranch in North Branford, Connecticut, said that 3 bison escaped by knocking over a section of fencing on Sunday. And then all 3 animals returned to the farm on their own on Tuesday night. Now, Maresca said the returning bovines were accompanied by a newborn baby bison. Aww, baby buffalo. Come here, little baby buffalo. Who's a good little buffalo? So again, those returning bison that had escaped, back with a baby. So 3 is now 4. A family of bison. That's nice. Something to make you smile, brought to us by Dr. Stacy Freeze, Lifetime Dental Solutions. We'll post that entire story here in a few minutes at 7:45 on Steve Shuttler Media Facebook. Make sure you check that out. Let's do this. In some duh. Oh, you know, marriage. Marriage is usually a good time to go on a honeymoon, but let's see here. Where are we going here? Pike County, Kentucky. Pike County, Kentucky, a couple went to jail instead of going on a honeymoon. Why, do you ask? Well, after police learned they allegedly lied on their marriage license because the married couple was... they were related. Cue the banjos. They were cousins, kissing cousins in Kentucky. Kentucky State Police received an anonymous tip that George Swiney, 52, and Amy Dalton, 49, both of Elkhorn City, were married last month despite being first cousins. So, you can't do that in Kentucky. A trooper was able to obtain a family tree showing the 2 were first cousins, as well as a copy of their marriage license on which they said they were not related. So, Kentucky kissing cousins, they get the duh. Let's see here. And then one last thing. Let's go to the box office. Top money-making movies from over the weekend. Deadpool Wolverine still at number 1. With $18.3 million over the weekend. Their total is $577.2 million at the box office. Number 2 movie was Alien Romulus with $16.2 million. That has brought in a total of $72.6 million. The number 3 movie over the weekend, It Ends With Us, with $11.8 million. The movie Blink Twice at number 4 with $7.3 million. And number 5 is The Forge with $6.6 million. 6 through 10 was Twisters, Coraline, The Crow, Despicable Me, and Inside Out. So your top money-making movies at the theater from over the weekend. Let's take one last look at our forecast. Hot. Whew. Keep a fan with you today. Excessive heat warning from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then tomorrow, an excessive heat watch is in effect. Same hours from 11 to 8. Today, sunny and hot. A high, that's an actual high of 97. Heat index going to feel about 111. So dangerously hot conditions today. If you don't have to be outside, stay inside where it's cool. Hopefully you have some air conditioning, some fans running to keep you somewhat cool today. Just be safe out there. If you do have to be outside, especially if you have to do any sort of work today. Stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water. Drink plenty of fluids. And stay hydrated. Don't get overheated outside on this hot day. Of course, we do thank Ottumwa Coasters for being our headline sponsor on our morning wake up. Make sure you follow them on Facebook and maybe look into getting some coasters made up to advertise your business or your event. And then, of course, our Oski Dental Studios sponsored. You can get a hold of Oski Dental, schedule an appointment at 641-673-4845. Okay, what do we got? It's a Monday. Let me look up at the video schedule for today. Of course, we'll have In Remembrance Of coming up at 8 a.m. We'll get an encouraging word with Kevin Hempel coming up at 5. 5:30, Successful Farming. Coming up at 6:30, Real Talk with Pastor Aaron Fleming and myself. And then we'll talk pro wrestling at 7 o'clock tonight with Card Subject to Change. And of course, that goes along with all of our other stuff that we do here on the Facebook side of things. And keep in mind, coming up on Friday, we'll have football for you with Pekin Panther football live video for Pekin Panther live this Friday night on Steve Shuttler Media. We'll also get a great coverage this season for Sigourney Keota football with Clint Dye from Tag Team Photography, pictures, articles, and some highlight videos this year for Sigourney Keota football. So we've got your local immediate area covered for football here on Steve Shuttler Media. All right, appreciate you guys. Again, keep in mind also, coming up on Friday, Iowa Music Showcase, my one-year celebration at Barnwired in Sigourney. So lots to get to this week. It's a big week here on Steve Shuttler Media. You guys have a good Monday. Stay safe out there and try to stay cool.